Welcome to Life on Life's Terms, episode 24. It's Justin and Kenny here this afternoon on this Friday. Our episode today is an outline of the clarification from some of the vocab that Kenny had used yesterday in his part 3 bio on episode 23. And then I think we're going to do a rundown of relationships and talk about some of the bullshit coming up in our lives.
Okay, let's do it.
How's your day going so far?
It's going really good. I got some good news today, and possible new income stream. So I'm working on building 10 different income streams.
Oh, that's great.
Right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. We're gonna have to get into a business episode one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Business amateurs.
Yeah, I guess one could call it that. Yeah. So vocabulary. Let's go there. I'm looking for my notes.
Some of the words that I said that may be
E-brakes. What's an e-brake?
an e-brake on a car.
Yeah.
It's an emergency brake.
Yeah,
That's a handheld.
but you're talking about skids or something on an e-brake. I know what you mean. We just need a little bit of clarification, I think. Not everybody is as privileged as us to know what an e-brake.
It's either a foot pedal or a hand lever in a vehicle to pull in case your brakes.
And what are you doing? You're burning out, right? Essentially, in the parking lots. I think you're talking about that girl that was cheating.
Oh, yeah. So, I was just doing e-brakes. So, like, it was snowing, and then I would drive around a corner at, like, a kind of a slow speed, and then right at the opportune angle, I would pull the e-brake and slide the ass end of the car around the corner.
I see. And then what is it going on a run? So, like, running from the cops, I'm assuming?
On the run?
Yeah.
On the run is when they are looking for you. There may or may not be a warrant out for your arrest. They could just be looking for you to question you or to charge you. But going on the run, essentially, from the police is just avoiding them as long as you can until they find you.
Okay. Differences between, I think we've done this one before, but this was a question. Not today, but before. What's the difference between provincial and federal prison in Canada?
Okay, so provincial and federal. So provincial is 2 years less a day. Federal is anything over 2 years. A federal sentence usually comes from a more severe charge. In Alberta, we get federal sentences for possession for the purpose. You'll get 2 years minimum for that.
Mm-hmm. For what? Possession for the purpose?
Yeah.
It's got a minimum mandatory 3.5 now.
Oh, it's 3?
4 if they can get it. Yeah. But it's a minimum mandatory of 3. You're doing federal time for possession for the purpose. And because of these new hybrid charges in Canada, they run consecutive. They cannot run concurrent. So if you get caught with one possession for the purpose and let's say, I don't know, a shotgun that's not registered and it's a dangerous gun, that's another minimum mandatory. Well, not anymore, but it was a minimum mandatory of 3 years. So before they would collapse it all into 3 years. I'm using American terminology by collapsing.
Yeah.
So they collapse it all they collapse it all in 3 years. But now what they're doing is it's actually a 6-year sentence. So they run consecutively.
Back to back.
Right.
Instead of at the same time.
So now when you get nailed with these hybrid minimum mandatories, it's one after another on each one. So like, let's say you get hit with 2 guns and a possession for the purpose and a possession for the purpose. That's 12 fucking years.
When did this happen?
So they've been convicting this way for a little while, but what judges have been doing is they've been trying to smash it into one, but they're trying to go back. Like they're trying to make it consecutive as opposed to a concurrent sentence.
This is news to me.
Yeah. So this is why it doesn't pay to sell drugs anymore.
Absolutely not.
Like 3 years, and then now, so now if you have a possession for the purpose, you're not allowed to get in drug court anymore. You have to have a trafficking charge. You have to have a trafficking charge. Yeah. So like even, and I'm just going to go into a little bit of Canadian American lingo. So like here in Canada, when we're talking about federal prisons, it means you've been convicted of an indictable offense. If you're in a provincial institution, then that's a summary conviction. The exact equivalent to America is a felony. So felonies are federal, and your misdemeanors are your state prisons. So, but here in Canada, what we don't have is we don't have like indictable class 1 or indictable class 2 or indictable class 3. So in America, they have like, I forget the actual word now, but for felons, it's like a felony 1, felony 2, felony 3. We don't have that shit. It's all like just one lumped into one. And the other thing is here in Canada, most judges don't have leeway when it comes to sentencing. Sentencing is already prescribed, and it's on a sliding scale for the most part. So like Kenny was saying, 2 years plus a day for federal means no matter what, you're doing 2 years plus a day as a sentence. And if it's like something like manslaughter, let's say, you get 8 years or you get 15 years on the max side of things. That's the sliding scale, but no matter what, you're walking away with 8 years for the most part.
I seen somebody get 5.
That's some extenuating circumstances.
Yeah.
That's some serious extenuating. I know a guy who got nailed. So he was charged with attempted murder. Then they dropped it down to attempted manslaughter. Then they dropped it down to assault causing bodily harm, right? So then he got a sentence of 5 years. The court clerk fucked up and gave him 5 months. So he went down. I'm serious. He went down to provincial jail in Spy Hill, and his old lady, like his girlfriend, was here. So like because I was working with this guy trying to get him out, and I did what's called like a character reference for him, saying that he changed whatever, right? And so what ended up happening, his girlfriend calls me and she's like, "You'll never guess what happened." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "He got 5 years, but he's going to Spy Hill. I don't understand this. Like, it's not working out in my head." I'm like, "What the fuck?" So then he calls me from the joint. He got sentencing from the guard, and the guard's like, "You got 5 months." He's like, "What?" And it was a fucking clerical error from the clerk, the court clerk.
Didn't they appeal it?
No, because the Crown's never going to look at that sentence. Like, why would the Crown ever look at that sentence after the guy's gone? He's gone. They don't see it.
That's crazy.
The judge stamps it. Yeah. The court clerk writes it. It goes down to filing. Filing sees it, goes to whichever correctional facility is getting the file. 2 years plus, 2 years less.
Yeah.
5 months, 2 years less. None of them are ever going to look at the charge and see if it equates. Like, why would they? I mean, I have seen an assault causing bodily for 2 years less. I've seen that happen, but nobody in the court system is going to fucking write that out. Like, they're just be like, well, whatever. I guess it wasn't that bad. They don't know the circumstances of the case. Like, it's not like more than one lawyer is looking at it on the Crown side. Once the conviction is done and the plea is done, walk out. That's it. That's all.
Did you get that link that I sent you on LinkedIn? That 25 mil?
Yeah, I did see that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that is pretty good. Actually, I think you and I were going to have, and I hate to promise things, but I think you and I are going to have a tag team with a correctional guard and a probation officer talking about the system and how they don't even like it.
Oh, no, they don't. They all know it's
so that'll be coming up in the future. The other, because we started going off on a tangent, was what's smashing meth?
Using it intravenously.
Okay, that's just different geography. People use different words, right?
Yeah.
Done with I think that's it. Getting turncoated?
I have no idea. I never said that.
I don't think you did. I'm looking at this and I'm like, what the fuck? I think we all know what being turncoated is, though.
What is it?
Being ratted on.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Cheesed out.
I never heard that.
You know when somebody
terminology.
turncoats on you? Yeah. That's even worse than being like told to the police about. Like, because turncoated means you were literally set up. You were the pawn in the whole entire thing, always known from beginning to end.
Oh, that's not good.
And then everybody turncoats on you, which means they leave you in the cold. Oh yeah,
The fall guy.
yeah, sucks to be you. That's that. I was gonna say something that might have been really bad. So let's go right into relationships. I was thinking about this from your last episode. I commented on it about and I think this might become a branded saying about people in life on life's terms. Is we might just start calling he's kind of Junie.
Just soft and gentle.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go there. I think we're just gonna start saying as a characteristic, because you really pegged it when you called this poor guy a soft summer's day. I just started laughing as soon as I heard that, and then having to hear this thing the day previous to it coming out and making sure that everything fit nicely. I couldn't stop laughing. I had to literally just pause it and be like, "Oh fuck," because we all know an asshole like that, right? Like we all know somebody like that. So I think we're just gonna, if you're okay, we're gonna coin that phrase. I think.
Yeah, let's own it.
This guy's a little bit Junie.
Yeah.
Know? And I hope that catches on with some of the listeners.
Don't be turning June on me.
Exactly, right? Exactly. So I have been in a relationship where a woman was cheating on her husband as well. And I actually called the guy and told him, I can't remember why, it was an active addiction. I was like, "Hey, I'm banging your old lady. I'm smelling her right now, actually, and I just kicked in her door. I think I kicked in her door because she tried to run me over with her van, because that's how fucked up people
That's
get
life,
along.
right?
Yeah,
That's life.
yeah, like
It's
that's
true love.
That's the chaos of codependency and fueled on cocaine and whiskey, And so, anyways, I called him and I was like, "Yeah, I'm banging your old lady," and he said all this shit like he's gonna kick my ass or whatever. I literally gave him my fucking address of where I was at the time, and I was like, "Meet me outside. Come meet me." He wouldn't. I kept calling him and harassing him and berating him afterwards. And I was like, "Come on, are you going to fucking come? Are you showing up? Are you just some telephone tough guy? I have no fucking problems with you showing up. Not from now to the end of the day. And even after the end of the day, I'll see you at the end of the month. Whenever the fuck you want to show up on your best day, I'm still going to be better than you. Show up. I fucking encourage, I fully want you to be here so that you can see what it's like after I whoop your ass and fuck your old lady in front of you when I'm done." He just lost his shit, right? And I had already fucked up this relationship with his girlfriend. But that's, in my opinion, that's that egotistical drug bullshit that kind of comes out of you, right? And like, as you were talking about this, your endeavors, I started recognizing, it was like, well, fuck, I have never cheated on a girl in my life. I've never done it. And when I was pimping, it was just known that I had to test all the product. So that it wasn't really cheating. I mean, that's just the lifestyle. Or a brother caring as a brother sharing. Fuck. That happened quite often in the old lifestyle, right? But what I'm getting at is that these weren't really sexual conquests. At the end of the day, it was more like a self-inflicted wound, And it's funny, like so today I'm discerning for the priesthood and the Catholic faith. So I observe priestly vows now. I live by celibacy. I live by poverty. I live by chastity, poverty. and this thing called the Oblates Entra. Okay. And I live by obedience of my spiritual director in the moment. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm Catholic. I'm fucking practicing. That's what that is. Okay. So like in saying that though, there's other people that I've discerned with, and some of them have never been laid in their lives. And I'm like, you need to go get fucked, man, because once we do this shit, if we end up all getting final vows, that's it. It's done. Like it's done, And so I look at them and I kind of pity them. I'm kind of grateful that I had a little bit of that wildness, because I'm like, you guys watch porn and you only wish. I was like, that was a fucking normal act. Like that was Monday through Sunday, and maybe twice on Sunday. It was a holy day. I mean, what are you gonna do? And so that's what I'm saying. These consequences are a two-prong issue. One, they hurt ourselves because we start realizing that we don't really have any respect for ourselves. And secondly, when we look back at it, when we've changed, we're kind of like, oh, fuck, that was pretty crazy. Like, I wouldn't do that shit today, Maybe you would.
Well, I don't know. Speak for yourself, man.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't go, because it was just so high-risk lifestyle. You know what I mean? And that, I mean, I'm not saying, like, fucking in a park or something like that. Like, that's not what I'm getting at. But what I'm getting at is like multiple partners not knowing where they've been just isn't safe. I don't give a shit how many glad bags you have on. Shit still gets eaten. It's fucking plastic. It doesn't mean that it's not biohazard, right? Like, you keep sticking your dick in the wrong thing, it's gonna fucking fall off.
I'd rather play Russian roulette with my dick than a gun.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I've been long enough in recovery to hear some of the horror stories of some of these guys who are like, it's not usable. And I'm like, yeah, that's like the fact of every morning waking up without a fucking heart on as a reminder of the consequence of what I've done by playing, as you call, Russian roulette with my dick.
Yeah, but if you're gonna be a Catholic priest anyways, then it doesn't matter. It's not like you're gonna use it.
Well, that's what I mean. Now with chastity, like looking at chastity as it is now, I really feel at this point that if the right woman were to come along, I would be able to make a very discernible decision without being plagued by some sort of infatuation that's not there, because that's not my drive.
Yeah.
It's really not, right? So like, and I guess that's kind of the picture that I'm depicting, is that going from that fucked upness, of all of these ridiculous relationships to what it is now, I think your decision making really, really changes. It changes in that you're not looking for that hoe that's walking down the street or a hood rat or something. Let's define what a hood rat is. What's your definition of a hood rat?
Somebody that's always in the hood. So a hood rat could be a guy or a girl. In my
Okay.
Yeah.
So like where I'm from, a hood rat is a girl that only fucks gangbangers.
Okay.
That's it. She won't nail anything else, and she's not beholden to one gangster. She's basically the girl for like when the guy goes into jail. She's almost tainted. Because what ends up happening, whoever dates that hood rat is probably going to go do time. And I'm not saying that she's like telling on anybody. It's just seems to be the karma of that girl. And then so like that guy's best bro ends up nailing her.
And then he goes to jail too.
Yeah. And that just seems to be the consequence of that. So anybody smart in the game just stays away from that. That's why like hood rats to us are tainted.
Okay.
Like the people that I used to hang out with. So anyways, I don't look for those kind of women anymore. But I don't look for women in church either. Like it's not there, What have your relationships been like in recovery?
I had one that was all right. But we kind of just lost interest in each other after about 10 months. And but that was like my healthiest relationship ever because we were both sober. We were just driven apart kind of at the end just by different belief systems and standards.
Okay.
Yeah.
What were the contrasting belief systems?
Like different sets of expectations for ourselves, that like if you have high expectations for yourself, it just kind of, you almost inevitably have high expectations for the person that you're with.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, it just started fading. Like we became critical of each other.
Oh yeah.
And like, oh, you're doing that? Oh, why are you doing that? And
Yeah.
it could have been avoided.
And see if we were to like just reflect in a 2020 of the past, we would have held on to that shit, man, until the wheels fell off. You know what I mean? Like there was no admitting to ourselves that this was a fucked up or starting to become a dysfunctional relationship. You know what I mean? Like in the past we wouldn't do that because of the codependency is so thick. You know what I mean? That fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been in some really fucked up relationships.
Yeah. Yeah. I think anybody out of active addiction is. I mean, I had one guy, a buddy of mine, this never happened to me because like I had taken the fact that I was a pimp and that all these girls that were around me were going to get fucked by somebody else eventually. Right. So there's a detachment right away.
Yeah.
But I had a buddy who his high school sweetheart. And they were together for the entire time through active addiction of like fucking 15 years. And she's getting nailed in the other room while he's crying. Like, and he can hear this. And then he's like, still to this day, it's fucked me up so much in my head that I have no self-security. Like, it's not even about self-esteem. I have no self-security. I just think I'm inadequate for any woman.
That's what he said.
Yeah, yeah. And he's like, I don't think that that's ever going to change in my life. And I was like, fuck, that's pretty serious. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't think any man really wants to sit in a position where they're thinking about some woman flipping tricks. You know what I mean? Especially when it's that first love of your life.
Yeah.
You know, it's a different thing when it's like the 7th or 6th or 8th girl, I would assume, you know?
Yeah.
Because I know when I was pimping, like, I didn't give a shit. It didn't matter to me. And then eventually, like, the women that were around me, you didn't touch the product. Like, it just didn't happen. You just didn't do that. Because that's a whole new fucked up world, man. Like, I would rather sell drugs than be a pimp because drugs don't talk to you. and women do. I mean, that's what happened, right? So, like, it made me become very, very manipulative and devious. And that's why now I'm like, when it comes to manipulation, it's like oil and water to me. I really hate it. I hate it. I hate even the thought of having to be like, oh, I got to hoodwig this person in order to do this. So I like go to the extremes to be like, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is what it is. And either you want to jump on the fucking train or not. It's not like, looks like you had a shitty life. You want to jump in my van? like it's not like that. I'm not saying that that's what it was. It was a little bit more class. It was way, way classier than that. The operation that I had.
I have difficulties now, like being in recovery and like having a suitcase, like 20 suitcases of baggage when it comes to like my experiences in my past and the girls I've been with previous and my kids and my jail time and all this stuff. So like trying to like meet a new female potential partner is like difficult for me right now.
See, I'll tell you something that I heard in the rooms a long time ago. Men go to the rooms, like, and so just to clarify, AA meetings, CA meetings, whatever fucking A saves your A, any of those meetings. People go to meetings looking for a date. Okay, looking for the opposite sex because they're both beholden to that codependency. Now, I'm going to tell you a piece of advice that was given to me a long time ago, and I'm not saying that I ever followed this. I do now. I didn't then. You don't deserve a fucking rebuild. You've put enough work into you. You deserve something brand new. Go get something that's not fucked up because all the people in that room are fucked up, and you don't deserve their junk coming to that relationship. It's your job to be 100%. It's your job to be the best human, the best man that you can possibly be. You're going to have faults, and that's fine. But you deserve a brand new person. You don't deserve a fucking rebuild. Stop looking in here. This is the garage. This isn't this isn't the fucking car dealership. You know? And when that was said to me, it was like, fuck, that's so true. Like, that's so true. And then they expressed, I mean, they were obviously using a euphemism or a philosophy, but what the guy was getting at is we're all fucked up people in this place. And really, you're victimizing the person in the room. You're victimizing them. There's no two ways about that.
They're vulnerable.
Yeah. And I don't give a fuck if you have 5 years of sobriety, 9 years of sobriety, 10 years of fucking 20 years of sobriety. I'm going to be straight honest with you. I only know of 3 couples in recovery that have made a relationship work. I don't know anybody else who has. And I think of that dysfunctionality. Like those relationships are pretty fucked. And I'm not trying to be judgmental. I mean, I'm just looking at the predicate of what a relationship is supposed to be in my understanding of what a good relationship is. And I think one of the biggest things that we do is we rush. You know, I'm so good right now. Watch, you want to see how good I am right now? Fuck off. If you were so good, why do you got to show somebody? You don't have to show anybody. All you have to do is be an example of it. And people are going to come anyways. That's how this happens. People are attracted to the like. And if they're attracted to what you are without trying to exuberate or like be like, see, look at me, those people who are around you are the real people. And people that came to you because you went and said, look at me, I'm a great big fucking shining star. They're only looking at you because they want something out of you. They don't want to be around you. They want something out of you. That's why the catchphrase always in this program is, if there's something that you like about that potential sponsor, go and get it from them because it's free in this room. That's why we say that. But out here in the real world, when we start doing that to people, because see, in the rooms you can be vulnerable. Out here in the real world, you can't do that. People they'll take that shit from you all day long. You got to look at those rooms as a fucking microcosm. It's a microcosm so that you can learn how to be the best you. And when you fuck it up, these people are forgiving. It's a test pilot because we don't know how to be, if you want to call something normal, we don't know how to be even remotely close to normal.
Who the fuck wants to be normal anyways?
But you definitely don't want to be the fucked up junkie that you were. And you definitely don't want to be an addict living in abstinence. Right? I don't want to be that either because I've seen those people and those people are straight fucking dicks. And the other thing that I don't want is I don't want to be in recovery or going to meetings and everybody knows my bullshit because I'm dating some woman in a fucking room. I've done it. You know, every relationship I've been in since recovery has been derived from the fucking rooms. Brutal. They tell you for your first year, don't fuck anything. Nobody knows if it works because nobody's ever fucking done it. Like nobody's ever done it. And that's one of the biggest suggestions that we have. And I say this to any man who's out there changing their life, whether you're a recovering addict or not. The fact of the matter is you don't know who the fuck you are. And for you to sell yourself to somebody not knowing who you are, you're selling them short. And now you're going to have casualties. You are now responsible for that casualty. If you're going to do an actual assessment of who the fuck you are and you can't come up with who you are, you have no right dating anybody. That's not fair to your partner. It's not fair to them. And it takes time to learn who you are.
Have you ever manifested a relationship?
Yeah.
Like purposely?
Yeah.
How did you do it?
I fucking masturbated while thinking about them. Yeah. That seemed to do it. That was the fucking curse. It's the truth. That was
the secret?
That was the curse for me.
So manifestation through masturbation.
Well, and then the other thing that was kind of crazy. Well, it's not really crazy.
Hashtag.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing that was pretty crazy was, like, I think you and I are both pretty articulate people. And if we're not conscious of this, we can become manipulative very, very quickly. And if we don't keep our motivations in check, we get in trouble real quick. Like if there's anything that I've noticed, people think that they're doing good all of the time, and that's great. I hope that you are. But how do you know you are? Because you could either be the director or you can be the actor. And if you're being the director, you're not doing good. It's like this. Somebody with their best intentions are trying to get something going, but that thing is never happening. Well, why is that thing never happening? Because you're playing God. Instead, if you go and be the actor and push that thing, as we talk about perpetuating the stream of life. So you're now acting within that stream. You're being of a benefit to it. If you were to try to direct the stream of where to go, like fuck, the stream's moving for you.
Yeah.
Right? So it's one of these ideologies. How do you know that you're being of benefit to other people? How do you know that you're not being the director and not the actor? You need to assess. And I've done this. You're talking about manifesting relationships. Fuck, I've done this. I mean, Joe Rogan, and I'll plug this, that he says all the time. He says, walk around all the time like you're going to get fucking laid. You know, like you're trying to get laid because that's your best self. Well, if you do that, the issue that I have with that is you attract sometimes the wrong women. And if you're not self-conscious about what you're doing and you become infatuated, it's a bad relationship. You know, it's a bad relationship. Right off the bat, it's bad, right?
So speaking of attracting relationships, like, so you manifested a girl by thinking of her while you're beating off.
Pretty much, yeah. More than once.
More than once.
More than once. Different women, yeah.
I'm gonna have to try that. That's strange. But so
I'm telling you.
what about like different like relationships, like business partnerships or friendships or?
So one of the things that I've learned in business, people are attracted, like one could call it law of attraction. Okay. Yeah. If you're going to be the guy who is trying to sell somebody on who you are, I don't want to do business with you. Instead, I just want to see who you are because you are who you are. So for instance, you and I had a conversation about us just being organically who we are on this show. Well, why do we do that? Because if you're playing a personification, eventually that's going to break down.
Yeah.
But if you're just organically who you are who you are. That's why I love this thing so much, is because we're already successful right now. We're doing what we like to do. It's done. So this is the success. It's done. You know, success is not determined by the value of the amount that you earn. We're doing what we like right here, right now. Is this successful? 100%.
I feel rich.
That's it. So like when you're talking about business relationships, that kind of stuff, in my opinion, just falls in your lap. The right people come in front of you for the right thing. Like I'm a guy who believes in God, right? Aside from being Catholic, I believe in God. So I ask myself 3 questions before I make any decision. 1, is it selfish? 2, is anybody going to get hurt? 3rd, is it of service? Okay. If all 3 are a green light, I go. And for whatever reason, when I go, everything falls in my lap. I meet this person for this. I meet that person for that. And next thing I know, the fucking network is being set up. And these people are not there as a take. It's a give and a take. We're working together. Like I wish where we were geographically, there was more podcasts. And the reason why I say that is because we would all benefit much more from it, you know, because then we could go to each other's shows, so on and so forth. I'm not saying that you can't call into a show, because you definitely can, but it's a little bit different when there's 2 people sitting in the same room in front of each other.
Yeah, and then you feed off the energy.
Definitely. And there's a reason for that. So like, you know, all the people that I've met in business, so when I was doing the gangster thing back in the day, all the people that I met then were just as fucked up as I was. But we were just as quiet as we were. And we were coming in with nice amounts of money continuously. Like, we didn't go looking for a job. We didn't have to. We knew the next thing, the next scam that was coming up, and we were conducting it, right? Today, I could almost equate the same thing. When I look into a business, sure, I do my business parameters and all that stuff, just like I did a scam. I mean, my thinking hasn't changed in that context, right? You go case the fucking joint out before you rob it, okay? That's what, and it's the same thing with business. You go and case out the business before you decide to sink in the value of your time into it.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. You only have enough time to do so much. And I have a hell of a lot of stuff I want to get done in my life. So if this is the only amount of time that I have, well, is this really what I want to get into? And that's why now it's not that I don't take risks. I just take calculated risks now. I have to understand the negative and positive consequences that could potentially be yielded from the next discernible decision that I'm making. Because typically it's going to be the right decision. I just have to make sure that everything's in check before I go and do it. I have now learned the advantage of time. Time is of my benefit. It's on my side. The second I feel like I'm making a reactionary decision, it's a no-go for me. I don't even go there. I just know that things are going to go sideways. Because that's what I always did almost on the other side. Sure, I looked at the parameters and the amount of exposure, but it was still half reactionary. Like I used to say, if we're talking about this thing longer than 4 minutes, we're fucking doing it. Like, let's go in the car. Like, let's go rob a Brinks truck. Just saying. And we got into 4 minutes of it. And guess what we're doing? We're hopping in the fucking van and we're going to go grab 4 other people. Do you know the route? Let's start looking at this. Done. There's no going back. I'm not like that anymore. I just don't go to that reactionary of a decision any longer. You, how is discerning personal relationships for you changed?
For me, I only want people in my life that have similar intentions.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as they are focused on like self-development, growth, humanitarianism, helping other people grow, like or climb the ladder that they've already climbed, people who generally are like live with integrity, like and self-love and take care of themselves. Like
so how do you discern those qualities in somebody else? Well, how do you see it?
It takes time, but I have a pretty good intuition, and I'm really energy sensitive. I can sense like the vibes people give off.
Yeah. And
when I'm talking to somebody, like, you know, we're either gonna click and have the same ideas or like each other's ideas or see the potential. You know, I often will see greatness in somebody, and I'll put that above like whatever negative qualities that I see. Like it'll almost blind the it'll make the negative qualities like not stand out whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I'll just see the greatness shining in them, and I'll feed into that, and I'll encourage that. And after like a little while, maybe like a couple months, or not putting any set time limit on it, that person like becomes better of a person just from like helping them, encouraging them, and like shifting the energy towards what they do right instead of what they got going on.
See, one of the things that can complement in that is the energy thing. I think just comes from the street. You learn that.
Yeah.
You learn who you're going to go do a jack ride with or a robbery ride versus a person that you're going to go and sell dope with. Those are two separate kinds of people, and you don't have either or in the same fucking car. Now, one of the things that we were talking about law of attraction. So like, remember how in the other podcast I was saying, I won't go and do business with a pussy.
Yeah.
I just won't. And the reason why I won't is because I have been sued for a lot of money in my time, and I know what it is to be in the throes of a fucking litigation, and the prick that you're with pusses out on you, and next thing you know, motherfucker's not showing up to court, and we're being sued for $1.2, $1.3 million.
Oh,
like, and I've lost that litigation. I've lost a $1.2 million litigation in the old business that I was in, not criminal, in a professional business that I was in. And that fucking crippled me. You know, my liability insurance went through the roof. So I know what that is. And so when I'm looking at who I'm going to do business with, it's like I said, you got to be a lion. You really got to be, and those qualities have to be there. I condone people, and I have a lot of respect for those who are respectful, so on and so forth. But there are times when you're looking at the market where you do become the predator and the market becomes the fucking prey. And if you can corner the market, I'm not saying corner the people. If you can corner the market, corner the niche, take full advantage. That's your job. If that's how you're going to contribute to the stream of life, this is how you contribute. It's not about drawing blood. It's about providing the best yielded benefit towards that niche by cornering it as best as you possibly can and encouraging and inviting everybody around you to participate in that. That's how we do this. Because as a team, we are going to be way stronger as a bunch of us than we ever will be lonesomely. Right? That's why it just doesn't work. Like I found in a group of criminals, one could call it organized crime, I found solace in that until I started seeing the backstabbing and the bullshit, the bullshit fraternity that was supposed to be there that was never there. And then you see this section and this section. In this world that I live in this world, the group of people that I do business with, we're not like that. We're all literally trying to help each other. And we're all literally trying to expose each other to the benefits of what we can provide each other. And this is how we corner the niche. This is how we become a part of it. And then when somebody else wants to be a part of that niche, we show them how they can be a part of it with the best and the most amount of positive impact that they can possibly give that niche, right? Because that's, I mean, in my opinion, that's what it all boils down to, you know? So even back to relationships between sexes, what was the most dysfunctional breakup that you've ever had?
Oh my God. There's been so many. One, shout out to Megan.
Shit, mine's a Megan too. Fuck.
She had my truck at her house, and we were like fighting, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go get my truck, and I was just loser pissed, and I went over there and I was like, give me the keys to the truck. She's like, I need it for work in the morning. I was like, I don't give a fuck. And I was like, where are they? And I grabbed her by the throat.
That's a good start.
Yeah. And I held her against the wall, and right at the same time I did that, her cousin walked into the room because we were like yelling.
Yeah.
And then just seen me holding her by her throat, and boom, right away just ran, called 911. And I left before the cops got there, but they just showed up on my house.
Wow.
Yeah, and I got charged with choking with intent.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah.
They didn't give you a domestic.
No, but like the Crown charged me. She didn't charge me.
Yeah.
The Crown charged me.
Yeah. So the Crown here in Canada, for you Americans, the Crown is like the district. Well, the district attorney.
Yeah.
Actually, so down south they call it a DA. We call it the Crown up here. That's the linguistic difference. So I'm gonna throw in my best breakup, which was just my last relationship, as fucked up as it was. So this girl had, I'm not saying names because I'm pretty sure she listens to this show. She had 9 years of sobriety at the time, and I had 5. No, I had 2 or 3. 3. I had 3 years, and so anyways. Basically, long story short, we were living in the ghetto because that's where I just feel
comfortable.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, me too.
So we were out on the street fucking yelling at each other, right? And basically, from the beginning of the relationship, I said, if I feel more of a calling towards the priesthood, like this is done. And that's basically where we were at. We had grown apart, And we were yelling at each other, and she thought that I was just using her for money because I had lost my surveying gig, and I have not been back to surveying since. I've changed my career entirely since then. And so anyways, I also quit smoking at the time, and there was all these changes happening. I think, in my opinion, like, I can't really speak for her, but my ideology is that she just felt she was getting passed up in the benefits of the things that were going on in my life. And so when we broke up, we didn't even talk to each other. I think the last thing that we said, so I was in Jasper, and I was on this crazy ass hike. I did 140 kilometers, and then I did another hike after that for 40 kilometers. So I did this 40 kilometer hike. I was standing on this top of the mountain, and I was smoking this pipe, and I fucking turned around on my heel and just walked back to the van, and I realized that I needed to get back to her for whatever reason. It's just how I felt. I felt this compulsion to be back. So I come back to the city that I was living in at the time. And so I just hiked 40 kilometers through the fucking mountains and then drove 3-4 hours back to where I am, right? And I called her and I was like, hey, I'm back in town. Can we talk? And she's like, I just don't care anymore. And when that had happened, I was like, yeah, okay. I guess that's it, you know? And I realized that these fallacies of what we so think our feelings are, like what the other person's thinking about us, is so just not even true. We're not connected like that as humans. We're not connected at the head. And one of the things that I learned out of that is the value of saying, how do you feel? And allow that person to tell you exactly how they feel, no matter what it's going to do to you. Because I'm not responsible for your feelings, nor are you responsible for my feelings. And we need to hold the sincerity and saltness and the honesty that the other person is telling us, because it's probably pretty difficult that they're saying shitty things about how they feel in that moment. You know, they're not saying it to hurt you. They're saying it because they feel shitty and they want things to change. And I really wish I had caught on to that in the moment, because if there was anybody that I would have married, it probably would have been her. You know, like, probably would have been. And yeah, it was pretty crazy the way how that it was actually amicable, even though that we just like stopped talking for literally a month. Like no woman has met my mom in my life. None. My mom used to fucking tease me saying that I was a fag. She'd be like, you got to be so gay. She knew I wasn't, but she would say, how come I've never met women? And then she would tease me and all this stuff. I just never felt compulsion for that to happen. Like my mom met one of my friends, and she was like, who the fuck is this slut? Who's a female? Right? And I was like, oh, so that's how we play this, right? like no matter who comes in this house.
I bring girls around my mom, and there's always some vagina envy in the room.
Oh, like, yeah.
There's always some type of shitty energy. Like, my mom's judging this chick up and down, and this chick's sweating, you know. Oh, I hope she likes me. Or the worst is when, like, the chick thinks that my mom likes her, but really I know that my mom just fucking can't stand her.
Oh, that's rough, eh?
Yeah. I've actually, like, always bring girls around my mom, and then, like, it was a disaster every time. So now, just recently after my last breakup, yeah. I've sworn it off. Like, I'm not doing it unless, like,
it's the one.
Unless she's Mother Mary herself.
What? And isn't it strange? Like, I don't know, but isn't it strange to bring a hoe around your mom? Like, what does that feel like? Because your mom knows. I mean, your mom knows. She's got the intuition, right? Like,
it's the worst. My poor mom.
And what is she? Has she ever called you out on it?
One time, my mom walked into the bedroom.
No! Here we go.
Well, I was screwing this one hoe, and she actually was a hoe, but I didn't pay for it. But she was a hoe. And
a brother caring is a brother sharing.
I was so embarrassed. My mom just, like, lost her shit. Like, get that fucking broad, get her the fuck out of this house. fucking like screaming, like it was ridiculous. I had fucking an open Palm Bay on my table by my door, and she threw it at us in my bed because she's so pissed.
That would suck.
Yeah.
That would suck. Believe it or not, our hour's here.
What?
That's the hour. I'm not even shitting you. You know what we're gonna do though next time is I think you and I were gonna brainstorm about this life on life's terms pride thing, and we're gonna bring that to the table next week. What are you doing for your weekend?
Oh, this weekend's I'm going to the regatta.
What's that?
So it's like it's the first time I've ever been there, even though we've had a seasonal lake lot at Wobman Lake.
Okay.
For like 20 years, for like 25 years actually.
Wow.
And I've never actually made it there for this festival that they have every year. So I'm going this weekend.
That's cool.
Yeah. And
What is it about though?
I don't know. They have a parade.
Oh yeah.
And and they have a whole bunch of like a sailboat race.
Cool.
Yeah.
I've sailed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. That's great. I'm going to
Heritage Days.
No, I'm going to improv tomorrow night.
What?
Yeah. I'm gonna take in an improv show I haven't been to for a while. I was invited by a friend. So I'm gonna go to improv tomorrow, and then I think on the Saturday, so tomorrow being Friday, so the show is obviously coming out on the Friday. So I guess tonight I'm going to improv, and then and then on Saturday, I think I'm gonna hit the trails, man. I'm gonna fuck off out of the city, and I'm gonna go hit the trails out in one of the national parks around where we're at here, and then I think I'm just gonna hang out on Sunday. My seminar got canceled last weekend, so I went and did a postinia. We'll get into what that is on another episode. So like just real quick what it is, it's basically a weekend of fasting and meditating. And it was fucking incredible. I do that once every month, and I literally unplug everything. No phone, no computer. I might read, but there's nothing. And it's literally just fasting, working out, and meditating through it for 24, 48 hours.
And I could use one of those.
Oh, it's great. I have a place for you to go. And I'll pay for it. And I'm telling you, you go there, you're not allowed to talk. You're only allowed to write. You're only allowed to read. There's meditating rooms. There's masses if you want to go, like religious masses if you want to go. And you can go for the whole weekend. And they'll feed you the whole bit, but you're not allowed to talk the whole time. And it's just 2 days of just self-reflection. It's in the middle of fucking nowhere. It's an amazing, I'll send you. I'll send you. And it's out by where you are too. Okay. Yeah, you'll be blown away. Anyway, wrap this bitch up, Kenny.
Okay, everybody, shout out to Liam Connolly at Connolly Law for all your Canadian law and will estates and media issues. Google Liam Connolly Law. I'm going to ask you guys if you have any suggestions. We are looking to feature a new not-for-profit. How we've been giving shout-outs for the boxing.
Southside Boxing Legion.
Southside Boxing Legion.
It's come to an end.
Yeah. So the 30 days are up. We did it for a month. We're looking for another non-profit. If you have any suggestions, I'd like to request you message us. Mm-hmm. On where do we want messages? The website?
Site. Yeah.
Okay, so http://justrob53.wixsite .com/life on life's terms.
Yeah, full, and it's all small.
It's all lowercase.
Why do they want to be a patron?
So you want to be a patron so you can get instant access to our material as soon as it's recorded, but also so you can be part of the tribe. Be part of Life on Life's Terms tribe. Be part of our pride.
Yeah.
We want to find out more about you. So like when you sign up on the Patreon account, you have access to like message us directly, and we can start working on building a relationship. We can find out who you are, what you do, what kind of game you're playing in life, and who knows, like maybe we can meet up, work together, do something. You want to become a patron because we are building a tribe. We are building a pride of lions.
There's going to be some serious videos coming up only for our pride guys. So like some of the things that it looks like that we're going to be featuring is like legal startups for companies. I've got a striking coach coming in who wants to do a video on teaching people the benefits of boxer size, so to say, right? You've got some stuff that we're probably going to throw in there.
Yeah, so I'm a personal trainer, and I can do programs. I can build programs.
Yeah, and then I think the other thing is there's a couple people that we've been talking to, and we're gonna have some pretty serious videos coming up for education on how to better yourself in the context of self-employment. No longer having to drudge to that fucking job at 9 and then check out and go home for 5. We'll show you how we do this way. Got any more shout outs there?
Well, yeah, so this is what's going to be happening if you become a patron. So it's www.patreon.com/lifeonlifesterms. And it only costs as much as 3 Canadian coffees a week to become part of our pride.
That's cheaper than American, right?
It's way cheaper.
Thanks for coming in, Kenny. Had a wonderful time.
Yeah, me too.
All right, we'll talk to you all later.
Keep killing it.
Bye for now.